Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to another Cocoa Vanilla Studio Design Team project. Today I'm going to be scrapping this photo of myself. I was right around 10 weeks pregnant with my son here, and I'd been having really horrible morning sickness, and this was the first day that I felt well enough to actually put on some makeup and do my hair and leave the house. So I went to a gold class movie with my husband, and yeah, I definitely remember this day really vividly, so I really wanted to dedicate a page to it. So this week I have been challenged to combine an old collection with a new collection. So I have decided to, of course, use Daydream because it's the most recent non-Christmas themed collection. But I've also pulled out my Happiness stash. Now this isn't super old, but it is definitely quite a bit older than Daydream. And I chose Happiness because I have used pretty much most of my Happiness. I don't have a whole lot left, but the stuff I do have left, I really want to sort of get through. I also chose this collection because the colors are quite different to Daydream. So even though they are similar kind of motifs, so there's lots of flowers and butterflies in both, Happiness is very bright and bold, whereas Daydream is very soft and muted. So I really wanted to see how I could go with marrying these two together, and I think I do quite well in the end. I've taken the Sweet Serenity paper from Daydream, that's that black and white spot for a nice neutral background, and then I've taken two papers from the Happiness 6x8 paper pad. So I've used that bright floral and then that kind of mixed media soft plain, well, more plain patterned paper for the center block. So I'm just making a central paper block for all my elements to sit on. I've just added a white border to my photo. I'm not going to do any photo mats because I have a bunch of these bits and pieces from the cut apart sheet out of the Happiness collection. That was called Little Bits. So I've cut that apart and I'm going to use a few of those cut aparts instead of photo mats. I'm just going to lay them up behind my photo. I'm just flicking through all the titles here from Happiness. I have quite a few of these left, and I do settle on this A Large Thankful title. So now again, I'm just going through all those cut aparts, trying to find some that I want to use, and that Happy Days one sits there for a little while, but it doesn't end up making it on the final layout. I am going to use this little wood grain one there. I love some wood grain, and I'm going to bring in a little bit more from the Happiness collection here. So this is just a strip from Over the Rainbow. I'm using the wood grain side. It's just a piece I had left over from another layout, so I decided to use those up. Bring in a bit more of that wood grain. Even though there's two different tones of wood grain, I think they go together quite nicely. I'm also going to use that large die cut frame. That is from the Happiness collection, and that is from the die cut ephemera. And that is going to be a little space for all my journaling to sit. So I have quite a bit of journaling to go on this layout. And I've never actually done this before, I don't think, with a frame, but I'm just going to draw some lines inside and pop all my journaling in there. And I'll do that off camera, but you'll be able to see that in the close-ups. So I'm just adding in my wood strips here, just top and bottom, just to add a little bit of a grounding point for this central paper block. There we go. And now I'm going to do a little bit of mixed media, so not a whole lot. I'm just bringing in some, this is a Color Blast texture paste in the color Punch. It's a nice bright pink, and I just think that's going to help tie in the bright pink that is in that Happiness collection. So that is just going to help also elongate that central paper block and make my layout a little bit more of a horizontal format. So I'm just pushing that through a chevron stencil there and just sort of feathering it out towards the edges. I'm also going to use this heart stencil and just pop in a little trio of hearts in the corners, and I think I end up covering up a few of these hearts, but that's okay because I will bring in some die cut hearts later. There we go. I just love those little hearts, they're really sweet. So now I'm sticking my paper block down in the center, and I've just used double-sided tape for that. And now I'm going to embellish. So I think I have two of these floral stickers left from the Happiness collection, so I'm going to get both of those on this layout. It's another pop of that bright pink. And actually the colours go quite well together. I was surprised how well they went. That bright pink from the Happiness collection just adds a really nice pop of bright punchy colour, and all the other colours in Daydream are just so soft. They really just melt into the rest of the layout nicely. So I'm going to use a few florals from the Daydream collection. I'm just using that soft pink and that bright yellow. Again, I think because that yellow in Daydream is a nice pop of bright colour, it helps to tie in the brights on that Happiness collection. Just flicking through here, I was trying to find a couple of these little die cut hearts because I did cover up 2 hearts in each of those little clusters, so I want to add in a third. And I'm also sprinkling in a couple more of those little clusters. I really went to town with the florals and the clusters here. I've added 2 of those little die cut ephemera butterflies from Daydream as well, and a little flare at the bottom of my photo there. These little stickers are from Happiness, so I'm just trying to use up some of these tiny words, top and bottom. There we go, following a slight diagonal layout on my page here. So the central block is mostly horizontal, but I am just following that top to bottom, right to left horizontal as well. I'm just going through now with a bit of tacky glue and sticking down all my bits and pieces. I'm also going to come in with some of this adhesive foam. It's just single-sided, and I'm going to use that to pop up some of the edges. So I thought the stickers were looking a little flat, so I did pull up the edges and pop some foam beneath those as well. And then I'll do the same thing to the top cluster up here. Just popping in some of that foam. That is just cheap craft foam from any craft store. And then I'm going to come in with my little butterflies and pop the wings up on foam as well. So I love doing this. I just crease them quite sharply in the middle there, and then I pop a piece of foam either side on the wings, and then just a strip of glue or double-sided tape, whatever you use for adhesive, just down the center of the body of the butterfly. And that just makes them look like they've just flown across your page and set down for a minute, and they could fly off at any moment. Makes them look nice and 3D and alive. Now I'm going to sprinkle in some of the sequins from the Daydream collection. I have so many of these left still. I don't know how, because I've used heaps of them. I've even made shaker pockets with them, but they are just continuing on and on. I just love these sequins. So I'm just popping in a cluster of 3 along each of my clusters there. And then I'm going to pop in a few little butterfly trails with these Nouveau drops. So this is just a champagne gold color, and I've seen quite a few people do this. I really love how it looks. You can't see it that well on camera because of that spotty background, but in real life it looks really pretty and it's a lot more noticeable. So I'm just popping in 2 little trails for each of my butterflies. Super sweet. And the very last thing I'm going to do is pop in 2 of those beautiful iridescent leaf sequins in each of my floral clusters, and then I will just take one last sticker from the Daydream sticker sheet and pop that in above my flare. And that will be my layout finished. Close-ups are coming up. Don't forget to check out the blog post that is on the Cocoa Vanilla Studio blog. Link is in the description box below. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Bye.